Season 27 of Apex is here, and with it came some major buffs to Horizon, and I think these buffs make her one of, if not the best legends in the game, especially as a solo player if you're looking to carry your games. Today's video is going to be another Inside the Mind video where I'm going to give you guys a glimpse into my thought process and my decision making, basically covering everything I can about how to play Horizon, from positioning, new ability usage, how to win more fights. We're going to be covering all of that in this video today. And super quickly, all these gameplays do come from my stream, so if you want to watch me play live and enjoy some good vibes, I'm live over on Twitch every single day at klarity. Now let's get right into it. So dropping in here, we're going ahead and landing on the light arsenal, and honestly guys, after just one day of playing, I could already tell you I think it is absolutely going to be an SMG meta. I think that the shotguns, especially after the PK nerfs, are just a bit underwhelming. So getting an R99 off drop here is going to be awesome. Now, I do pick up the PK here just because it is the only thing I could really grab, and it's not that bad off drop when everybody has white armor. But going ahead into this first fight here, I'm playing this nice little head glitch, trying to deal some poke damage while kind of moving from cover to cover. So I'm using this head glitch. I get the opening I want, still trying to use that cover, and we just push up and clean up this nice little elimination. Nothing crazy there, but definitely a good use of cover. You always want to have a piece of cover next to you, especially head glitches, and this little area on this new POI is really, really nice for that. There's almost a head glitch every step of the way across that whole platform. Now we go ahead and I'm using this gravity lift to try and get some angles here. You're actually more accurate off gravity lifts now than you were before, and these are all over this new Olympus rework as well. And we're going ahead, I drop back, find a nice little head glitch again, and I'm using the 301 here. You can see I swapped out that PK for the 301 because I wanted something with a little bit more range, even though the 301 is still a bit underwhelming. It's going to be better. And then we have the R99 as our close range option. Now, we go ahead and use that new mantle boost, as you saw right there, to close the gap. You also can't die by falling in those spots, so we go ahead and actually use it to propel us forward. Cleaning up that Valk elimination. She was only 1 HP. We get a nice R99 spray, and you're going to see me again use the gravity lift to get angles and a nice bit of tracking there with the 301. We go ahead and clean up another elimination. And so you've already seen a couple times how these new gravity lifts allowing you to go up quicker and also be more accurate in them are going to be extremely useful. As you also saw, I grabbed the right side of the blue upgrade ability, which is going to allow me to use a lifeline drone to fly around basically out of my gravity lift. Now, you can also do the stomp ability, but I prefer this one over the stomp ability because I find that it's more useful for creating space, especially as a solo player. Now, right here, we go ahead. We have a little 1v1 with this Wraith. I catch her off guard as she's popping the Phoenix, and when I go to push up, she actually has teammates deep, so I'm going to have to fall back off that fight, find a nice doorway, and I decided to use my Phoenix kit here because I knew I had a good amount of time and space, and this is going to allow me to fully heal up without having to waste all of my cells. Now we're going to look to re-engage. I'm going to look to use my 301 from this range to try and get an opening, and because the Wraith was still weak, we're able to go ahead and get that knock. Now right here, instead of taking the zip line, which would have been a little bit too predictable, I go ahead and use Horizon Q to cover this gap to try and catch this Wraith a little bit off guard. Now she ends up getting out with her Q, which was a nice play, but we're going to go ahead. I know she's weak, and we just slide with the R99, going ahead and cleaning up that elimination. And what you're going to kind of notice is that this Horizon buff that they've done kind of brings back the feeling of OG Horizon, between the better accuracy in the gravity lift and the speed going up in it. But they've also added these new abilities, like I said, with the Lifeline drone upgrade that you can get, or the Stomp that you can get. Again, I prefer the drone. I think you're going to see later in this gameplay how good it is for creating a little bit of space when you need to. And also, the purple upgrade of getting your Q ability back on knock is going to be absolutely huge. And I think it honestly makes Horizon maybe a little bit better than she was even back in like Season 7 when she was at her best. I don't think your gravity lift is quite as fast and your accuracy isn't quite as good in the gravity lift, but I think these new abilities kind of make up for that. Now, moving on to this next fight here, we kind of get in a little bit of an awkward situation. So we know we have a team deep to our right, and there was also a team right in front of us here. But what ends up happening is I believe they wrapped all the way around, or they ran and a new team pulls up behind us. And now we're in a little bit of an awkward spot. We get arc starred from the side, and I'm not really liking the situation I'm in. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and use the Horizon ult, which also received a small buff, try and zone out these enemies. Now, I'm still looking, I'm full HP, I'm still looking to take a gunfight there, right? If they're trying to push through my ult, I feel like I have the advantage right there, so I'm looking for that fight. Now, they end up backing off fully, so right here, I'm trying to make sure that they're completely backed off. I noticed the Pathfinder ult, so obviously they Pathfinder ulted away. And this team that was deep right now is pushed up on us. So I go ahead, work up to this little piece of cover right here, and I'm looking to deal damage without taking damage. So as you see, as soon as I start taking damage back, I was ducking back behind cover, because something I always talk about in these videos is how important it is to focus as much on not taking damage as dealing damage. Now, I hear the lifeline going for a revive right there, so it's a really easy, just slide around the corner and hit a nice couple shots with the 301 to clean it up. We end up taking some big damage from deep, so I have to go ahead. I probably could have armor swapped here, but I already started the bat, so I just wanted to finish it. Now, I went to challenge that because I saw that my teammate broke the caustic shield. Unfortunately, my R99 was not reloaded. Now, here you're going to see me use that drone. Look how good this drone is for getting a lot of space creation done with Horizon. That's one of her faults from before, is that you could only create vertical space with her gravity lift. But with this upgrade with the drone, using her gravity lift, you can quickly also create horizontal space like I just did to back off when you're in a little bit of trouble. So great example right there of that new ability in action. Now, this team kind of backs off here. We end up getting the caustic, but either the other two or one remaining teammates kind of completely back off here. So I'm going ahead. The only issue with this loadout I'm running as well, the 301 with the R99, is that double light ammo, you burn through it super quick. So I'm trying to find a little bit of ammo here. I end up taking some damage. This probably the third or both the third and the second teammates backed up to this little area. So I'm going ahead and trying to push up now with my teammate. And right here, we're going to go ahead and use our Q ability to get over these caustic gas canisters. A nice little way to not take damage and get slowed. And I'm trying to help my teammate as they're trying to take this fight. A little bit of an awkward fight here, but I go ahead. We use that new mantle boost again, which is really, really strong. And they end up dropping down, so we have to go ahead and reposition. I didn't want to chase right into them because that would have been very predictable and I could have got caught out in the open. So we go ahead and change the angle and wrap around. Now, our other teammate had cleaned up one of these two enemies. So I'm just going ahead and trying to find this last player. Not really sure where they went at this point. I thought that there was two, but at this point I was starting to think maybe there was only one. But then I realized that they were actually going for a revive. So one teammate basically was a distraction, and it seems that the other one got behind us. They probably had a Moby or something like that, grabbed the banner and went for the res. But this was a pretty bad spot for them to go for the revive because it's pretty easy for us to just slide on over here and go ahead and take care of this caustic. Now, like I said, I went ahead and upgraded and grabbed the purple upgrade, which is going to give me my Q ability back on knock. I think that this alone makes Horizon one of the best legends in the game, because this is actually an amp that you can get your Q ability back on knock, but she gets it for free as part of her kit, basically, when you get purple Evo. So you're going to see that come into play later in this game as well. Now, we pull up on another team here. I go ahead and actually hit some really nice shots with the 301, using my gravity lift to close the gap on that Pathfinder who had the angle above our heads. And like I just said, you can see I instantly get my Q back because of that purple upgrade. And so I'm able to go ahead and use it again to try and get another elimination. Now, my teammate ends up getting it, and in that situation, though, you can just envision that if my teammate wasn't pushing up with me, let's say that my teammates had gone down and I was just completely solo, I would have been able to use that bonus Q that I got from the purple upgrade to instantly close the gap on that last player as they were trying to get the heal off behind cover. It is going to allow you to make so many aggressive plays. And again, pair that with the fact that you get the lifeline drone coming out of your gravity lift. Just imagine the plays you can get as you're stacking those two abilities, the amount of space you can create. I really think that's why Horizon is probably the best legend in the game right now. Now, as I was going ahead and upgrading my R99 and grabbing some more light ammo, like I said, you burn through it with this loadout, my random teammates end up finding a random lifeline and cleaning her up. And so at this point, though, I'm just starting to think, where are her teammates? And we find out very quick that they're behind us. Now, you're going to see we run into probably the other most broken legend in the game right now, and that's Rampart. She also got some crazy buffs in this latest update, making her extremely strong. She's already been really good if you knew how to use her ult, but her walls got buffed, her ult got buffed. Rampart is definitely going to be a problem this season. Now, you can see in this fight, knowing how deadly the Rampart can be with her Sheila behind a wall, I'm just trying to quickly peek and deal that damage, break her walls without taking damage in return. Now, My teammate ends up popping a fuse ult, and that's going to create that little bit of confusion, that little bit of chaos for me to push up to a nice piece of cover and start to close the gap. I see that my teammate got the first knock, and with that, we're going to go ahead and be much more aggressive here, moving from cover to cover, and going ahead and hitting some nice R99 shots there to clean up that final elimination. Now, especially fighting a Rampart, but honestly, fighting anybody, you're going to want to play like that. I'll play it back here in slow motion real quick. Look how I'm peeking this angle using this piece of cover. I'm using this head glitch, trying to break the wall to take not much damage back in return. I'm quickly peeking, and as soon as I feel any type of pressure, even if it's just a couple shots being fired, or even before they start to take a lot of shots at me, you can see me duck back behind cover. I do take some damage, but I'm able to deal way more than I take, because for me only taking 100 damage, I end up doing about 100 damage to each of the enemies that we're fighting. And you can do this. This is really the key to winning any fight in Apex. If you just start to think of Apex as deal more damage than I take in return, you're going to win a lot more fights, whether it's pubs or ranked or anything, because I'm dealing out 200 damage there, only taking 100 back, while my teammates don't have to do anything. And then they're able to just go ahead and have that full health to push up, use the fuse ult, and that's really what opened up that fight, is dealing the damage without taking that much in return. And doing that as a solo player is really how you carry games. It's how, like I said, whether you're in pubs or ranked, by doing that, you're gonna open up fights, even if your teammates don't realize it. Great players always open up fights by not taking that much damage and dealing a lot of damage, and that allows teammates to make plays off of the damage they create. Now, we go ahead. There was a little bit of a fight there inside that building. I didn't really do much in that fight, to be completely honest. And there's only one team remaining. So at this point, we go ahead. We grab a little Kraber. You know, we always like to go for the Kraber trick shots when there's only one team left. And I go for a crazy shot. This would have been so clean, but we end up missing it. But as they're dropping in, we go ahead and hit some nice R99 shots. You're going to see me go ahead and use my Q to take height quickly, throw my ult down to suck them in. And we go ahead, dropping down with the R99, hitting a nice spray. A little no-scope with the Kraber, using that lifeline ult for cover. And a little 360 flick shot with the Kraber to clean up the win. Not too bad, if I say so myself. A nice little clean way to finish this game. And I think that game really showcased very well Horizon's new kit and all the buffs that she got and how they can be used, and why I think they genuinely make her probably one of the best legends, especially as a solo player if you're looking to carry your games. But as promised, we have 2 Horizon gameplays in this video, and we're heading over to World's Edge. By the way, that Olympus rework looks so nice, and it plays really well as well. A lot of great POIs to drop at now, and I really like what they did with the Olympus rework. It's a lot of fun. Also, the lighting on all the maps, Olympus, Rework, and World's Edge, appears to be updated. I think the lighting looks really, really nice now. Way better than it did before. And I can't even tell you guys how happy I am to have World's Edge back. As a Wraith main and a zipline guy, having World's Edge back is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some great gameplays for you on World's Edge this season. Now, dropping in, we go ahead, we grab a 301 again and an alternator. And I'm looking to play around that little wall as a piece of cover in case I need to fall back and just deal some damage. Now, my teammate got the opening knock here. This is an easy little cleanup. My teammate ends up getting that elimination as well. Nothing too crazy here. Just a nice fundamental dealing damage with cover close by if needed. I go ahead and use a quick super jump right there on the zipline to gain that bit of space a little bit quicker. And we use the gravity lift to catch this Wraith off guard on high ground. I already know he was complaining about no audio, which also, by the way, the audio is in fact much better. The audio update in this new season actually made a substantial difference. The audio is actually much better than ever before. Now, right there, I got a little bit greedy trying to get that full elimination, but we quickly go up the zipline in the streamer building and pop a bat on the door, and then quickly drop down to this different angle to catch these guys off guard, and that is the magic of this building. We do hit some nice alternator shots there as well to clean that up, but the magic of this streamer building, as they call it, is the ability to quickly use zip lines and climb ups to change angles constantly. You've seen guys like Faide and aceu do it all the time. I'll be definitely breaking down even more fights in this zip building, this streamer building specifically, in future shorts and videos. But being able to constantly change angles and quickly reposition is so critical in that building. And that was a perfect example, even on a small scale, of just dropping down from the second level or third level to that door. It catches those guys off guard. Now, we go ahead and cross back here to the Monument POI. I get a little bit of damage off, and I also realize in this situation, I have an alternator and a mastiff. Those are both close range weapons. I also don't have that much ammo in either weapon, so I'm not really liking this fight in the position that I'm in. My teammate does try to port us in here to try and close that gap a little bit, but these guys are kind of holding us out. I don't really like that fight, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and try to pull them somewhere where I do like to fight, and that's going to be back in the streamer building. Now, the idea is that hopefully they're hungry for some kills, and they try to chase us down, and it brings them right to where we want to fight them. That's something I've talked about in past videos as well, is how important it is as a solo player to bring the fight to spots that give you the advantage. And for me and my playstyle, zip buildings are one of those spots, so that's why World's Edge, especially this drop right here, is so good. Now, that team that was going to be difficult to push ends up getting third-partied, and that's the perfect opening we needed. I go ahead and use the gravity lift to drop down on this enemy. Now, as you heard there, I turned the double tap on. That's the new hop-up on the alternator. This thing absolutely smacks with the double tap. The only downside is it has no range with the double tap enabled. We're able to get that elimination, and we quickly pop our Q ability to get back onto the high ground. Now, I know that that Wraith is going to chase me in my Q, so I drop down, find this little bit of cover on the staircase. An awkward fight here, but going ahead and hitting some nice alternator shots and some nice mastiff shots there at the end. We use that little bit of cover to our advantage. We make that awkward fight a little bit less awkward for us than it was for that Wraith we were up against, and we go ahead and clean up that fight. Now, we're going to go ahead and fast forward this gameplay a little bit here because we ran around for like 2 or 3 minutes and found absolutely nobody. And that is one of the few downsides to World's Edge, is the lobby sometimes can get evaporated very, very early on and make it hard to find people. But we do find a team here. Now, I want to go ahead and place myself between the zone and this team, getting nice zone positioning to try and hold them. Having the zone pressuring them more than us is very important in this fight. Now, their Valk ends up ulting out, but leaves their 2 teammates behind, so I want to be aggressive here. I push up knowing I have my ult, and you can see this double tap absolutely slapping a little bit, even from a bit of a range. Now, unfortunately, I had to reload the alternator, so I go ahead and pull out the Mastiff. And now at this point, I thought that there might have been a different team, or that the Valk had landed close by, but the Valk ended up just ulting completely away. Maybe she thought that it'd be better to Valk ult away and go for the craft. But that's why you see me being a little bit cautious here. I didn't have a full read on the situation, but I end up realizing it was just those 2 guys. And I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the Mastiff is hitting better than the PK this first day of the update. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree. I think after the PK received its nerf and the max damage got reduced, it also makes the shots that don't hit max damage feel even worse. So those 16s turned into 11s, those 60s turned into 40s. I don't know, maybe it's just me and I need to give the PK more of a chance, and I definitely will, but I low-key felt like the Mastiff felt like the best shotgun. But as I said at the very beginning of this video, I genuinely do think right now it is an SMG meta. I think that running an alternator with double tap is your close range option, and using something like a 301 or a 30-30, G7 Scout, Wingman, just a more long-range focused main weapon, and then having, like I said, alternator with double tap, R99. The Volt got buffed, and it's a little bit better as well. It just feels to me that it's just going to be an SMG meta this Season 27, which, honestly, I'm all here for because we've been using basically PK only for a couple months now, so an SMG meta sounds great to me. Now, we hear some shots up ahead, and I'm definitely going to be looking to third-party this, especially at this spot we're going to. We have some great options on how to take this fight. We could either gravity lift up onto the high ground if they're close by, and if they're not, we have some nice cover that we can work up on to try and third-party this fight safely. I end up noticing that they're out in this field fighting a little bit, so I'm looking to clean up this kill. Like I said earlier, the only issue with double tap on the alternator, it has absolutely no range. That was a great example of that there. Even from like 20 or 30 meters, there's not much range. Now, I go ahead and use my Q to get some height and land a nice arc star, pushing him out of cover. I do hit some decent shots with it there, and he re-challenges me. But that was a bad move on his part because I win the challenge. My teammate ended up sliding in and cleaning that up. Had he not, it would have been an easy slide in with the Mastiff and clean it up though. I go ahead and I'm popping a syringe here. I see my teammate pop ult, and I know that even though it's zone 3 closing, I can tank this. I can go ahead and pop my syringe while I wait. And as soon as he pops his ultimate, we go ahead and take that to get in zone. Now, at this point, we have 3 squads. Not sure how many are left on each, but I'm really liking my positioning here. I think that we're kind of playing a bit of an edge of zone position, and we have this nice little high ground that we can take, as you see me do here. Now, I get shot at from deep. This gives me a little bit of info, and this is a really safe spot that I can kind of check out what's going on in front of us and try to figure out what this situation is exactly. Now, I get Sparrow ulted off of it. Not a big deal at all. We have plenty of cover that we can play around and continue to do exactly what we were. Now, I end up spotting somebody trying to flank us to our right. So I go ahead and use my gravity lift to get that height, try to get him caught in my ult. It doesn't end up working out, but that's okay. We take this space in this building to our right. I'm going ahead and I'm playing this door. This is where shotguns are really nice still, and SMGs can't do this. Being able to quickly open the door, deal damage, and duck back behind cover is always going to be really nice. Now, we almost get the knock right there. I know that this whole team is weak. I try to aggress and get somebody down. Unfortunately, I'm not able to, so I have to quickly use my Q to reposition onto this nice piece of cover. Now, I saw that the Sparrow was solo, so I try to isolate that 1v1. Unfortunately, he ultra TPs out, but the other team must have had an angle on their ultra TP, so he ends up running right back to me, and we clean that up. Now, his other 2 teammates got cleaned up by the third party. They must have had an angle on their ultimate that they didn't know about. Now, once I'm in this position, I realize this is about to be a difficult final fight. These guys have long-range weapons. They have a nice head glitch on this hill. And I was using a double tap alternator and a Mastiff. So I go ahead. I end up getting lucky. There was a G7 behind me. So I go ahead and pick this up. And my plan in my head this whole time, I talk a lot about how important it is to create a plan going into fights. My plan is use the G7, try to crack somebody or knock somebody to create an opening, and then instantly pick up the alternator again to close the gap. Now, as you guys know in Apex, a lot of times things don't go to plan, so that didn't happen at all. I see that they're pushing up on my teammate to our right here, so I go ahead and use my Q to reposition on top of my teammate, and you saw me grab that alternator again quickly at the end there. Now, what I realize is as they're trying to work up the right on my teammate, they've kind of left this power position on the hill. So I say to my teammate in game, let's work up this hill together. I think we can actually wrap behind them and actually hit a flank on them. And we actually do just that. They're completely unaware of it. We go ahead and wrap around them. We catch this guy who was trying to wrap my teammate rotating out, maybe? I'm not sure what his plan was. And it ends up just being a duo. You get to see that alternator double tap in action. Again, it goes absolutely crazy up close. And we clean up the final 2 eliminations for a nice little win right here. Shout out to all my teammates in the first game and the second game. They were all so kind and super fun to play with. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you found this helpful, how you guys like Horizon so far, just your overall thoughts on Season 27. As always, thank you guys so much for the love and support. It truly means the world. We're going to have the new ranked Solo to Masters coming very soon, and more videos on the way as well. As always, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!